Yes, good morning, good evening, good night, everyone. General Kaji, good evening. I can't even see you. I can only see that you freeze.
I'm here.
Firstly, I would like to send my condolences to Mohbad and his family. I play his songs at parties and in clubs. His voice, very unique, very deep and very unique. So may his soul continue to rest in peace. What I would like to say here is very simple. We all want justice. We're all screaming and yearning for justice. But do we know what justice truly is? Do we know what justice truly means in this particular case? I want us all to, it's an emotional situation, but we also have to be very rational. We all have to be very careful how we throw and mete out allegations. We all have to go through the right channels at this time. We all have to watch what we say, how we say, and when we say it. We all have to be careful how we expose this family at this time. And the lady said something that really touched me in the sense that she said the family needs to be seen as united, not apart. Because in this particular situation, I would think that if they're doing interviews with anybody, it should be like a collective front, a joint front, where you see everybody in the family as a unit speaking or putting up a front and all of that. We all also have to be very careful because we don't know what truly happened. The late Mohbad is from Ikorodu. I'm a satellite town boy, satellite town / first tag boy, but I would say maybe I grew up with some certain kind of privileges compared to some, growing up in Ikorodu and all of that. We don't understand the kind of life. A lot of us don't understand it. So if you don't understand it, you have to be mindful and careful as to what you say, how you say. I'm not here siding anybody. I'm not here coming to say this or say that, but I'm just saying that we all just have to be very careful. Let the law take its course. Let the law take its course. Let us know, because this is also an opportunity for we as Nigerians to know how to channel our grievances the right way and the correct way and the legal way.
Can I quickly ask you a question, Bongolee?
Yes.
Allow me, I'm going to interject. Now, from this point you've just made, now, there was a petition that went out to the so-called authorities. Now, when a petition goes out, there needs to be a warrant that's been sent out. I'm sorry, what happened? We haven't even seen nothing. Everybody that's been made, that every name that we have mentioned in this so-called drama or death thing that's going on, nobody has said nothing about these people. Is it because they have power more than us? What is it that's going on? We really need to know. What law are you really emphasizing on? Because I don't understand. This is how we say law, and it keeps dragging.
Well, no matter how you look at it, General Kaji, the law is the law. Without law, there will be anarchy. We have to go by the tenets of the law, regardless of however we feel. There's nothing we can
understand. There's a whole lot of people that's involved. There's something called questioning.
General Kaji, I understand you, and that is why the right, the very effective and efficient investigations need to be done. Okay, as a petition been written, I know that because of the video swirling around social media, there was when a certain incident happened that somebody attacked him. He filed a petition. And according to what the FCID reported, they said the person he filed the petition against went to answer that petition, but he did not show up. I'm not here coming to talk down on nobody. No, that's not my own intention. All I'm saying here is that we have to do things by the tenets of the law, because we can scream all we want, we can cry all we want, but we have to go through the law. There's nothing we can do about it. So if they've written the petitions, the police, they have a modus operandi. Now that is where
Bongolee, sorry to interject, Bongolee. How successful has Nigerian police modus operandi been up until now? it's a question we need to. You see, if the people trusted the police force, if the people trusted the police, it would be easier. To be honest, are we not expecting too much from these same people who have suffered in the hands of these same police? Yeah.
Daddy Freeze, let us be very honest here. When situations happen in Nigeria and the police gets involved, like it's a big issue like this, how many of us have taken the pains to follow these cases till the end? We all drop halfway. Most of us drop halfway and say, okay, yes, they didn't do anything. But if you go back and go do some research, you see that these people may have meted out some form of justice at them or to them if they are found guilty. We don't follow. Most of us don't follow up in Nigeria. There is nothing we can do except going by the law. And that is why I'm using this opportunity to channel people. If you want to fight for your rights, because freedom truly is when you can fight for rights and fight for the rights of people. Let us channel it through the right sources. That is the best we can do, Daddy Freeze.
When you say, I'm so sorry, when you say channel it into Daddy Freeze, please leave me with Bongolee. When you say channel it to the right way, my question is, a petition was written. Now there's so many names in the so-called cabal, or there's so many names that's been popping. You know, there's so many, like a couple of names that's been so particular. At least respect the dead. Come out, have something to say. You can't keep the whole world in darkness. This is someone's father we're talking about. What are you talking about? I'm sorry, sometimes it has to take the whole world to say, forget about the law. The law is not going to give us justice the way we're looking at it, because they're dragging this issue.
Then what are you going to do? What are you going to do, General Kaji? Then what are you going to do? If you don't wait on the law, then tell me the other option. I'm asking you. You live in the UK. You know these things very well. They do investigations for 15, 20, 30 years. I hail you, Mr. Stats. I see you, Mr. Stats. They do. Bongolee. Don't go there. I'm talking to my sister. Wait, Mr. Stats.
Okay.
I'm talking to my sister. Yeah, wait. They do cases up to 20, 30 years and they resolve it, even though names have been swirling around. What is the other option? I'm asking you, General Kaji. I'm asking you a question, direct question, General Kaji. Even though I can't see you.
It's called jungle justice. It's called jungle justice. I'm sorry. You can hear me very well. It's called jungle justice. At this point.
I'm sorry. I don't want us to go down that route.
No.
I don't want us to go down that route because it has not brought. It brings out the inhuman side of man.
Right.
And no matter how bad a justice system is, I lived in the ghetto. In Arimo, Ibadan, proper ghetto. Forget Ikorodu na good place. Go Ibadan ghetto, you go see village ghetto. I've seen jungle justice because somebody stole Maggie Cube.
Right.
So the jungle justice is the thought process of a mob. A mob has what you call they share a mind.
So sorry, wait. Are you trying to say we need to wait for them to do their job at this point?
We don't need to wait. We will put them under pressure, but I don't want us to go down the road of jungle justice.
Jungle justice. I got you.
Do you understand? Yes, put pressure on. Let the police know that the eyes are on them. Let the police know that we're watching.
Right.
You understand? But we've got to be very careful not to start this because, trust me, innocent people will go down. It always happens like that. So let us at least get a proper case established. Let us understand what is going on. Because you see, what makes us different from the people that we claim or we are pinning this on if we act like them. Do you understand my opinion?
I'm with you.
Just let the theme be justice for Mohbad, not jungle justice for Mohbad. My opinion. We've got Mr. Stats here. Mr. Stats, what are your thoughts?
First of all, Daddy Freeze, good evening, good afternoon. Thanks for bringing me up, Bongolee. I greet you especially, Kaji, who's popping. As a reason why I came up, and it was one of the points Bongolee made was, what does justice look like? We need to ask ourselves, what does justice look like? And I think at this point in time, everyone on this live video knows what justice looks like. when you look at the story of this guy and the amount of times he's been crying out for help, you know, I think at one point in time we can all get to the point where we say, yes, he was oppressed by certain groups of people. And I know in America there's something where they say accessory to a crime. So let's say, for example, if you didn't pull the trigger, but you gave them the gun, you can be charged with murder.
Accomplice, yeah.
As an accomplice.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So
Rico.
you might not have been the one to pull the trigger, but you are the one that gave them the gun. Or
Right.
you are the one that told them the address of where they will find him to kill him. Do you get? So there has to be that level of investigation as to how all of this happened, since when it's been going on, and how he died. Now, one of the questions that came to mind was, is he Muslim? Even Muslim, they don't rush to bury them like that. Do you get? Where, you know, because I was listening to the white sister, and she was saying that they wanted to bury him as early as 12 midnight. As soon as he died, they wanted to bury him immediately. The only reason why you want to do that is if there is evidence, there's something you want to bury. Like, you don't want somebody to find out.
Let's not use the D word. Let's not say the moment he died, because
right. Okay, yeah. So something, there's something there. Now, to answer the question of what does justice look like, it means we'll have to investigate, and then they'll have to answer all the questions surrounding how he died, and then question and bring people to questioning. So, Bongolee, you said
Yes.
A lot of times people don't follow up. You know, Nigeria is a country where, if you know people, and you too, you can attest to this. I grew up in Ibadan, and unfortunately, as crazy as this sounds, Nigeria is the one place where you could be sentenced to serve time and not even serve the time. And somebody will serve the time for you, and you can go out, you can go abroad, you can do and undo. Have we not seen this in the case of NSAS? One of my biggest fear is that 2 weeks post this incident, one celebrity will do something stupid, and then boom, in the news, and we will almost forget about it. Or one politician will do something, and we'll almost forget about it. And the same, we want justice, it will start dying down and dying down. And when people see that, when police see that, you know, people are no longer interested, people will start, you know, doing mago.
Chicken out.
Do you get? So if we are going to go by what we know as justice today, let me now ask you a question. Your candidate is now the president.
Let's not go there.
Let's
not go
political. Please, Bongolee, please wait.
Let's not go there.
Okay.
Because Mr. Stars,
The
respectfully.
question that I was going to ask is very simple. Has anything changed with anything? That was the only question. Has anything changed, and will anything change in the justice system from before it was and now?
Mr. Stars, you know something? Since you even brought that up, I'm glad you brought that up. One of the issues that we're talking about, that we're saying we want justice for and all of that, is bullying, right? There were evidences of bullying swirling around on social media and the videos that we saw, right? Physical bullying. Since you brought political, you talk a little bit of politics. Imagine what was done to me. I'm not trying to make this about me. What the people were doing, cyberbullying me. A lot of people on this platform, a lot of people on this platform here that are requesting for justice, they were the same people that were cyberbullying me because of somebody I was supporting that I talked about. and they were cyberbullying me, but you are claiming that someone was bullying somebody. But I digress. Now, pertaining to what you said, I understand that we are in Nigeria. However, it is we Nigerians that make up Nigeria. It is people like you and I. And if what we are doing here is screaming for justice is not superficial, and it's not fake, and it is genuine, then we'll follow it till the end. It is not social media. Social media doesn't bring this justice. It is when you get into the court of law, you file your evidences, your Freedom of Information Act, your Evidence Act, whatever act and whatever is in the Constitution, section 40-something of the Constitution, all those things, that is what you will take to the court of law. How many of us have paid for the services of a lawyer or lawyers on this case? We are talking about being genuine. We want justice. If I, Bongolee, wants justice, I will say, you know what, a lawyer, what can we do about this Mohbad situation? Let us raise money. And when we raise money, let us face this head on. It is expensive. Who is going to pay on the side of Mohbad if they are going to write a petition or file a petition? Who is going to pay for it? This is the time that we all have to put our heads together. We have lawyers here and all of that, or attorneys, come together, put money together and fight for this justice.
You know, sometimes when things happen, you don't have a clear direction of how to go about seeking justice or doing things. And what you said makes sense. I can get behind that. I can get behind legal representation for the family, for Mohbad. If one does not currently exist, I can get behind creating a GoFundMe account for that, the legal process of getting justice. Bongolee, are you going to spearhead that?
What did you say?
Are you going to spearhead that? Are you going?
No, I am. No, I am not. I am not going to spearhead that. I have my reservations. I am not going to spearhead that. But I'm saying the people that want the justice, that are talking about the justice, they should put their heads together. I'm being honest and truthful here. Put their heads together, get legal representation. Okay, with what okay, are people aware that the police have actually tweeted and they put a phone number and said, call this phone number. We need all information possible. The people that are watching Daddy Freeze right now, are they aware of it? Because even though I am not inside of it, but I keep myself abreast of all the developments from the side of the government. So that is what the police have said. Bring your evidences now. The police have put a number. Call the police number now and start giving them all the information that you have on this case while they are doing the investigation. Now the Mohbad, I'm sorry, please, lastly. Now the Mohbad side, let us gather money, get legal representation, and know what we are fighting for. Now, there's one thing to say you want to go and fight for justice. Know what you are fighting for. Example, the political stuff that was going on, and people were saying one thing on social media, and when they got to court, it was something else that was going on, and we saw a totally different outcome from what the people were expecting in social media to what the people that were going the legal way, the document way. That is what I'm saying here. I'm not siding anybody or protecting anybody. I just want us to do this thing.
I remembered something just now. Daddy Freeze, yeah. You know when that lady was speaking, the family, I was in and out. Did she actually mention of who gave them the audacity to go and bury that guy so soon in the family?
No, that's a different.
No.
She didn't mention it, right?
I don't think so. That's why she kept on saying they. She
didn't want to mention any specific names.
Right.
And I also, for the sake of peace, because social media is not the court of law. She will mention somebody, some people begin to agitate. Do you catch it? Some people begin to agitate. Before you know it, they don't go scatter one place. So let's use wisdom. That's why I said primary wisdom is very important in this situation.
I I just think we should just leave politics out of this and just speak about Mohbad and
no,
you know.
No, if you can leave politics out of it.
Politics out of it. I'm just saying
it's not about politics. I don't think. I think the biggest thing is what's the way forward. At least that's what me I'm concerned about.
And Mr. Starks, for me, the way forward, let us get a legal representation. Hold on, from the family side, because remember, there was some legal tussles as regards management and music management, blah blah blah, and now he's having streaming. He had 400,000 streams the other day, highest ever on Spotify and co. Where is all that money going to? Where are all those monies going to? See, let me tell you something. When I'm trying to think about some certain issues, I look at every scenarios possible. Where are all those monies going to? He's topping the charts right now with his songs. Where are all those monies going to? Where are all those monies for his endorsements going to? That is where the legal representation I'm talking about comes in, one of them. And then if you want to file anything, that is where the legal representation comes in. Get Falz Daddy. Someone just says something, Femi Aderogba said get Falano, Femi Falano, SAN. We have to know what we are fighting for. That's why I said what is justice. That's why I said what is justice. We have to know what we are fighting for.
Daddy Freeze.
Go ahead.
Once again, I want to thank you for bringing it to, and consistently talking about it. Daddy Freeze, I think I consider you a wise man.
Right.
And I say it's very heavy because I've been on your platforms. I've heard you so many times. Do you know the family or the family members, or do you know if the family have legal representation? In advanced world, in other countries, there will be a court appointed attorney or the AG of the state will take up this case, investigate it with the police, represent the family, and bring justice, right? But it looks like things might have been or are being done a little backwards in Nigeria, to where you now have to hire your own attorney to represent your family. Do you know if the family have legal representation? Daddy Freeze.
Daddy Freeze, you didn't ask the question.
Sadly, I am not in a position to advise in that regard. And I'll give you my reasons why. Primarily because I am not privy to information. I am sure, especially with the family members abroad and all that, if they wanted legal representation, I am sure they can afford it. And I'm also sure that with the money raised, because I remember the lady Titilayo said, thank you.
All due respect, Daddy Prince, with all due respect, this Marco Vinci just said one thing. He's someone that's been slandering my name for years on your platform. He said, God, bring Mohbad, take engineer. It's me I was talking about. All because I did not support Peter Obi. That is why these people hate me. I'm sorry for making it political.
Daddy Freeze, can I please exit? Do you mind?
Okay.
No. Okay. Kaji, nice speaking with you. We'll talk another time, Kaji.
My dear
this
brother,
kind of things I'm talking about.
Make such a statement like that again on my platform. Don't ever make such a statement like that. I can't find him right now, but you are as bad as the people we are complaining about. Don't ever come to this platform and make such a statement. Please, let there be freedom of speech here. Okay? Let's respect one another. All right.
So, DF, you said you're not privy to information.
Yes.
And you can't even well, if you don't have information, there's no way you can advise anybody.
Absolutely.
The only reason why I asked is so we're not duplicating efforts. So we're not duplicating efforts. If the people, you know, I'm hopeful that Fal's dad will probably know about this situation, and alongside many other cases that he's probably handling pro bono or handling and being paid for, this may be just a tad bit too much on his plate. There are other sands in Nigeria that we can engage, or that the family can engage. But here's one thing: I like Mohbad. I hate that. I hate everything that he had to endure up until, you know, he went to be with the Lord. But I'm also very, you know, what's the action? What are the next steps? That's kind of how I've been trained. You know, so it's happened. What are the next steps? How do we, you know, what are we trying to achieve, and how do we get there? So what I would say is, if the families don't have something and they are open to it, God bears me witness, with your help, we can create an avenue for the people that have been impacted, all of Nigeria that have been impacted by this loss. We can come together, create a fund specifically for that purpose that will aid in helping us to investigate and get justice, whatever that means, not just for his wife or for his son or his family, but his friends, families, fans all over the world. And that fund will be managed in public view. It will be a particular account created that people can put money in. We will post receipts of every spend, every income, every money that comes in, and every spend, and who it went to. So that way, you know, people will not say, they just want to use Mohbad to chase clouds. They want to use him to make money. Bongolee said something. He said he had 400,000 stream in one day. Where is that money going? You know, is intellectual property. Who has rights to it? Is estate. Who is managing it? It's just a lot, and this can only be done by professionals, which is, you know, lawyers, estate lawyers, criminal lawyers.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's all I have to say.
Daddy Freeze, that's all that all I'm saying here. That's what I'm saying. What's the definition of justice? And this is what I mean by justice. You have to fight for justice, and you need money to fight for justice. And justice comes in different forms. That's all.
All right. Before we go any further, we've got Femi Aderogba here. If you're watching on TikTok, double-click the screen. Double-click the screen. If you're watching on TikTok, double-click the screen. Beautiful ideas shared here. Follow my #1 gifter. Follow my #1 gifter on TikTok. Please pop my money guns. Thank you all so much for your support. Let me see who's the next person to pop a money gun on TikTok. The battery of the phone is dying. I just had to bend it a little so they can see me. Oh yeah, pop my money guns on TikTok. Yeah. Oh yeah, pop the money guns. Femi Aderogba, over to you. What are your thoughts?
All right. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, my political enemy, but we are not here for politics. Good evening, bro. How are you doing today? Well, I've listened to both sides, and I think we've all made wonderful contributions to the subject matter. It's actually an unfortunate incident, which we pray we will not see such a thing again in the industry, because, you know, it seems to be reoccurring. But about the way forward, I think the last speaker has made a lot of clarifications to what were hugely misunderstood from Bongolee's page. But regarding the efficiency of our legal system, it is true, in fact, totally true, that there is a way our legal system is being compromised that even make the oppressed to get more oppressed when certain cases are even taken to the court system. So that is actually true. But because that is happening, it does not negate the fact that getting justice for Mohbad is not possible. Because there was actually a case that happened locally. I think that case ran for a year or 1.5 years. And if you're Yoruba, you would actually know that case. And that is a case for Timothy. That guy, he was actually pied in a particular hotel, and the owner of that hotel was highly powerful. That there is no way they can there is no way they can turn the case upside down, And eventually, when they started the case, almost everybody had that perception that this case is going nowhere, because the people that were involved, they were stronger than the people that were the victim of that case. But at the end of the day, fortunately, the case eventually ended in the right place. And what did I want to mention from that case? What I want us to learn is that sometimes when we think something is impossible, there are a lot of possibility in it. It just depends on who is being hired to handle the case. And it's also a time for us to start reflecting about how things are being done in the music industry. It's not all about having influencers in the music industry. It's also about having prayer groups, whereby when a particular issue is being raised, there could be prayer group, they can raise the issue ASAP. Because if you study how things have been going for the past 5 days, you always see some people, they say, Mohbad told me this, he told me this, he told me this. Honestly, I am so sure that if many of these cases have been brought to the attention of Daddy Freeze as early as possible, some of them would have gotten popular and gotten attention. But I'm not saying that anyone should be responsible for that. But I'm saying that number one thing is that each time there are pressure group. I'm not talking about pressure group for jungle justice, no. Pressure group like that of Oriyomi Amzat, who leverage a lot of things, skills, talents, and resources to actually ensure that the justice is being delivered for the family of Timothy Adegoke. We can also leverage on that model to ensure that we are not making this all about influencer talking. We're also making it about actionable talks. While we are holding live about this particular matter, we can also keep updating the member of the public on how the court proceeding is going. So it's not all about social media, because some cases cannot be solved on social media. They can only be popularized on social media, but they can be solved in the court of law. And look at it, at a particular point when even the case of that Timothy, got complicated, they had to hire Baba Femi Falana, and eventually everything worked well. So the point is that it's the matter of who is involved in the court case. It's not really the matter of those who are perpetrating evil. If the right people, yes, I will allow you to talk, to raise your objection. If the right people are consulted, all right. If the right people are consulted,
there's no more objection. My battery is about to die. I've been trying to power.
Can you give me 1 minute, please, to round off, please?
Okay, let me just round off so that everybody can have their say. So the point is that the point is that way forward is that let's try to raise a kind of prayer group. I'm not talking about jungle justice. I mean intellectual that can engage on intellectual conversation with a good case, and let's get people who has actually been involved in this nature of case and has been successful about it. And number two is that let's also see this as a lesson that when things are coming up like this, let's voice out on time, because actually this effort will actually be profitable, but there is nothing as good as saving one's life before something gets complicated. So I say kudos to everyone that has been involved in this matter. I understand how sad it is, but I believe by God's grace, we are going to get justice for Mohbad. Thank you.
Just 30 seconds.
Thank you very much. If you're watching on TikTok, please double-click the screen. More people would follow and more people would support. Double-click the screen. Please follow my #1 gifter on TikTok. I know you guys are carried away by the gist, but don't forget to follow my #1 gifter and pop my money guns. We're rounding off in 5 minutes. 1 minute for Mr. Stats and then 1 minute for Bongolee, and we're out. Guys, keep it within that 1 minute so the phone doesn't die while we're in the middle of what we're in.
I need less than 1 minute. Thank you very much. Again, that is first. Thanks for. Now, this is all I've said. I said, you know, let's be more actionable. I am willing. I have volunteered myself to spearhead on behalf of the Nigerian youth and